Hello traders, I am Stephen Davis, Senior Market Strategist. RJO Futures, it's Thursday afternoon, 1:30 Central Time. We had our crop report out here a couple hours ago, so we thought we'd come in this afternoon and give you some commentary on the crop report. Crop reports in the middle of May, they're not that big of a deal. For example, we've got a June 30th acres report. That's a huge report here coming up in next month in June. So May crop reports, they're not that important. What's important is weather here going forward. The weather in the 6 to 10 day forecast does look a little bit wet to me, but we'll have to see. A lot of the corn getting planted here in northern Illinois, a lot of corn getting planted in Ohio. So, and markets have been holding in there pretty good. So this crop report this morning, kind of a mixed bag for corn, and then very bullish numbers for soybeans, and we'll get to that in 1 minute time. So here's our first chart of corn. You can see the market coming back down into some pretty good support. And now we are about 50% planted on corn, so maybe we're going to pull back here going into the end of May, early June. Typically that's what markets do. But I got to tell you, these corn and soybean market have been very resilient. An analyst came out over Iowa Public Radio earlier this week, and he's followed along a lot, and I read his stuff quite a bit. And he's touting corn at $8 in the next couple of years due to China buying ethanol and China's demand for ethanol. And keep in mind now, I've been on here for weeks talking about China buying U.S. corn, and one of these days it's going to happen, and it just makes sense to me. And it's a really good story. So corn demand is solid. It's good. We're going to get less acres this summer, and we'll just see. Things are really shaping up for a volatile, fun summer. So next chart is soybean, and you can see soybean 2 similar here, pulling back into pretty good support. Now we had the report today. Bullish report for soybean. USDA not to be concerned here about China tariffs of U.S. soybeans. We've got a 200 million carryout less next year in 2018. So big bullish report for soybean. China tariffs on soybeans is going to set the tone here going forward. We all know that, and it's going to take many negotiations for this going on, and we'll just have to see. But my take on this, I agree with the USDA. Sooner or later, China's going to have to buy U.S. soybean. Their middle class is gigantic over the demand over there, and the demand for soybean is going to continue unabated in our life. Okay, China commercials are not buying any U.S. soy. That's being confirmed here, and China's telling their farmers to plant more soybean. Well, really, that's a no-brainer. We knew this was coming, and you can bet a lot that South America next year is going to increase their soybean acreage gigantic. So China's buying soybeans here from South America. Sooner or later, they're going to turn to North America. And then lastly, the wheat chart here, similar to the corn chart. Nothing in the report this morning friendly for the wheat market. So wheat trading lower kind of held corn back a little bit. And we'll just see here as we go into Friday. Weather again looks a little wet here in the 6 to 10 day forecast. So we got to get finished planting these row crops. And then next week, the Premier Liu from China is heading to Washington again. He's the trade similar to the U.S. trade representation here in USA. And then lastly, I just want to mention crude oil pushing higher here above $71. A lot of commodities are bullish here, and we'll see how bullish these grains get as we move into the summer. Thanks.